This is going to be a short but very, very important video regarding how to score maximum marks in interpersonal skills. So as we all know, in Block 2 marking schemes, there are marks for three different domains. One is data gathering, one is management, and one is interpersonal skills. And each of them has got 4 marks. So how to gain maximum marks in interpersonal skills? So regarding interpersonal skills, there are two types of interpersonal skills. One is verbal and the other is non-verbal. So verbal, as you are all aware, everybody tells you that in verbal you have to express sympathy and empathy with the patient. Whenever the patient tells you about his problem, his pain, or anything, tell him that, oh, I'm sorry to hear about that. And whenever the patient tells you, that my mom was also diagnosed with this condition, you ask him, sorry to hear about your mom, how is she doing now, and stuff like that. So that is the verbal part of IPS that everybody knows about, and I will also discuss it one by one as I go along the course. But today I want to be more focused on the nonverbal part of it, the nonverbal cues and kind of how your body language operate during the station that sends important messages about you to the examiner. Um, okay, and anyway, plug 2 is a lot of it is about acting, so you need to show it with your body language as well. So the first thing that I would like to tell you is when you enter the cubicle, always greet your examiner and say your name and your GMC number. So for example, when you enter the station, you tell the examiner that hello or good morning, good afternoon, I'm Dr. This and my GMC number is this, and this. What a lot of people do is when they enter the station, they are so nervous about their station, they don't even look at the examiner and they just, without looking at the examiner, they say their GMC number and their name in a rush and then just go and sit with the patient and start their station, which is very wrong and sends a very wrong impression about you right at the beginning of the station. The examiner think that this person doesn't even bother to greet other people. Okay. So another thing is your introduction and your ending of the station should be very, very powerful. Because this is the part where we are most confused at the introduction and at the ending of the station. So when we are starting a station, we are nervous and we are confused. How are we going to perform in the station? Whether we are going to do good or bad. So we are a bit unsure of ourselves and our voice starts to go down and we seem a little confused. And at the end of the station, we are just like revising everything in our head and we are thinking, oh, whether I said everything correctly, whether I covered everything, what if I've said something wrong. Sometimes it looks like the simulator isn't satisfied. So when we are ending, we again end our station on a very low tone and kind of not very sure of ourselves. Okay, so regarding of all these natural tendencies and everything that goes on in our head, try to ignore those inner voices and try to be specifically confident and strong while you are starting your station and while you are ending your station, because these are the things that naturally sticks with the examiner. They especially notes your introduction and ending. The other thing is that everybody tells you that you need to actively listen. Now, what is active listening? Because you can listen all you want, but how are you going to show it to the examiner that you are listening? How does the examiner know that you are actually listening to the patient? So for this purpose, you're going to nod a lot. Okay, so when the patient is talking to you, just don't like sit there like a statue and look at them like staring at them blankly. You need to nod your head a lot as they talk to you, so the examiner knows that yeah, this person is actually listening, because the examiner, they will be literally looking at your neck whether you are nodding your head or not. Okay. The third thing is eye contact. So remember this thing that you never break eye contact with the patient unless there is a need for it. Okay, the need means that you need to look at some um, test results that are there on the table and you want to have a look at them, or you want to have a look at the examination findings that the examiner gives you. So even under those circumstances, you need to tell the patient, excuse me, I need to have a look at this. I need to have a look at your test results. And then you break your eye contact and look at the test results and then discuss it with the patient. The fourth thing is never underestimate the power of sorry, thank you, and please. because in British society, it is the culture, it is the norm. Even when you are traveling in the public transport, you will 1,000 times you will listen thank you, sorry, and please. Okay, it's they like use thank you 1,000 times in a single sentence, and they always start a sentence with please. Okay, and even with with the most minor inconvenience, they will like 1,000 times they will say sorry. So you need to incorporate that in your sentences. Okay, so don't go like people say that can you rate your scale on a pain on a scale of 1 to 10, whether 1 being the least pain and 10 being the worst pain? So try to put a please in here. Okay, can you please rate your pain on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 being least pain and 10 being the worst pain? Okay. So whenever you are asking the patient to do something, please incorporate the please here. Okay. Um, the other thing is thank you. So you know what happens during the course of station when you do all the history taking, and you say you tell the patient that now I'm going to examine you, and I'm going to check your observation and this and this, if that's okay with you. Sometimes what happens is the patient gives you a piece of paper on which the examination findings are written. So when you take the piece of paper from the patient, always thank the patient. Thank you. Okay, say thank you. And sorry again, as I previously told you, whenever the patient experiences any discomfort, whenever the patient narrates any traumatic life experience to you, any bad event, always say that, oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. Um, One thing that I would like to add here is you need to use the word unfortunately as well. A lot of times, especially when you are explaining the diagnosis. So you need to say, no, unfortunately this and unfortunately that. Okay. Even when you are, when a patient is requesting something that you cannot, fulfill at that time, you will say, unfortunately, we cannot do this. Okay, so that was all from my side for some of the IPS tips that helped me a lot and will help you a lot as well in scoring maximum marks in IPS if you use them during the exam. I hope it helps.